Looks to be like in her early 50s or so. Long black hair that kind of goes just past the chest area.
Chest area.
Respectfully choosing words, Laura.
Wow.
Past her heaping bosom. What do you want me to say?
I think you've had enough. I think you've had enough. It's making it weird.
What too much mercury?
Laura Bailey, forward-thinking feminist.
Oh my god. Sorry.
It's all right.
I want you to, once you have a child, I want you to turn on a dime like a Tartuffe character and just be matronly and severe. Don't curse.
That's not going to happen.
Don't talk about titties.
No.
The coat-wearing figure that you saw walking across the deck of the ship spins around and begins to abruptly quicken her pace in the direction of the gangplank that leads off onto the side of the dock. As she kind of comes up to the edge, reaching and grabbing the sides of it, you see before you a woman with long, sea air tattered mass of hair. It is just this halo of crimped, curled and wild dark hair that's also been sun bleached to the point where the tips kind of go light. It is crazed in appearance immediately as she arrives. She looks spry and somewhat young, maybe late 20s, early 30s, but her skin has been very heavily weathered from all these days at sea, and you can see already she's getting these kind of crow's nests at the corner of her face, but has a very bright smile, and her light brown coat hangs just past her calf-high boots. She looks like the kind of woman who captains a ship. As she glances over, "Hi! You looking for a crew?"
You look like a pirate.
"I do not look like a pirate. Why would you say that?"
She meant it as a compliment.
Where do you buy your clothes?
A few moments pass. You hear a movement of chain, a creaking of metal, and then a shunk, some sort of large shifting of a wood platform or plank. The door then creaks open, and they're standing, a little bleary-eyed. Apparently had slept in a bit, but in the process of getting ready, you see before you Arcanist Allura. Her hair is half braided, her long blonde hair is half braided. She's in her darkened blue robes. You're used to seeing her, and as she opens the door, the sunlight hitting her eyes, she kind of protects her vision for a second before they focus on the rest of the group, and she goes, "My lord, you've all arrived. You've all arrived." And she swings the door open and runs forward immediately to you, the first person that's there, and just gives you a big hug. Grow and grow as you're both just standing there, focusing on each other. You can see now between her, her very, very tightly bunned dark brunette hair, you can see these green eyes piercing through that are looking straight into yours, and there's a little bit of a sly smirk on the side of her face. You can see a little bit of a scar on the outside of her face. It's long time healed, and you can see she's definitely seen her share of battle just from the complexion and the intensity in her face. But as you stop and look up, you see before you a young, cute, gnomish girl with a very short pixie brown hair, currently playing the flute. Who kind of looks over at you and gives you kind of a winky grin. Burst of bubbles comes up from the surface as the water begins to break, and you can see a very beautiful, water-colored, nude female form that is laughing uproariously. Just. It has been some time.
It's her.
Oh, my lady.
As she takes her hair off the side and kind of like gets the water out of it and shoves it over her shoulder, she steps up, and this time her feet touch the surface, and she walks on it like it's solid. As she begins to step carefully towards you, "I apologize for being, well," and she kind of points over towards him. "I would recommend in the future, perhaps, more respectful means of arrival."
Sorry.
Bar handlers, the barmaid, just waiting for customers to come in, and as you enter immediately, she's like, goes from leaning to the back wall. "Oh, ha, sorry," and just kind of comes up and just sort of shows you guys to any table you like.
What does she look like?
She looks late 40s, probably had a few kids. She's not unattractive. She's not
going to be blowing anyone's mind per se, but she's she's a working woman. She's confident, it seems, and she knows her job. She's a lady.
Do you have food and drink in this establishment?
She's a female.
We got both.
Do you have turkey legs?
Halfway there already.
Turkey legs.
Turkey legs.
We got the best turkey legs in White State.
Shit, the gauntlet has been thrown down. I need 2 turkey legs for each one of these beautiful people here.
We really do. That sounds really good.
Coming right up, and she kind of boops you on the nose and turns around and walks away back towards the kitchen area.
Boop you on
She
the
put me
nose.
on the fucking nose.
Can I introduce myself, Lady Kima? I don't think we've ever met before, have we?
This is true, actually.
I have not met
and
you.
she steps up to you, and and at first view of her, you see she's, square-shouldered and pretty rough in the physicality of what you'd imagine from a most halflings you see. She walks with her shoulders forward, and she has this intensity to her step, even when it's just a friendly exchange. And she bears armor that is gold with various silver and blue details on it that are parts of the presentation of Bahamut and the temple that is a representation of his worship. She carries a large metallic hammer that she kind of keeps left over one shoulder. She has just past her shoulders kind of wavy, kind of ashy or dirty blondish hair, and a big scar that rides across her face, as well as a number of other kind of scars that aren't quite as visible. But she grins as she steps up and moves her hammer to the other side of her shoulders with a clink and puts her hand out.
I put mine out as well and say, your appearance fascinates me on so many levels. I look forward to getting to know you.
She pulls her hand away. She goes, "Interesting coming from you, definitely."
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah!
Yay!
Travis, what are you dressed as?
I'm Helga, the angry tavern wench, and I only love one man, Scanlan.
And you see at the top of kind of the split staircase appears to be a female elf, brunette with kind of golden eyes, a bit older in the face. You can see some lines along the cheeks that, for elves that age gracefully, shows a bit of age. You see a very beautiful laced red dress that goes up to the neck, with a bit of like a window right there. The arms are crossed and folded in front, and just kind of, as you enter, looks down and smiles. Of the mail room, it opens up, and there you see a young man and a young woman. Both enter in nice silk robes.
Oh, it's like in the room.
Oh, yes. I did not put that together yet.
Both human.
We got 2 rooms.
Yeah, but they. All right. So, who requested the service?
Excellent, and I'm...
A woman, dark gray skin, and ankle-length black hair that is just smooth and straight that falls behind her. You see these bony crests of horns that curve up into these 2 large kind of points behind the head, and bright yellow eyes that are pupilless. A grin that shows 2 fanged canines as she descends. You can see her attire is very formal colonial style coat with epaulets, but it seems to be tailored to not hide her figure. She already exudes an air of powerful aggression and presence, and with each step that she takes down there, you can sense her immediately reading and seeing in and through each of you. I'm sorry, what? And from peeking over the shoulder, as your vision focuses into the chamber beyond, low lit beyond just the series of candles that are set around the single mirror, you see the beautiful red skin of your mother and the dark hair tumbled past the shoulder as she's been wearing a mostly laced up bodice. As one of the other servant is in the process of lacing and tying it, glances over her shoulder, kind of pushes past the edge of the chair and goes,
It's me.
and their kind of robe placed on, most of the jewelry removed, but still fully made up and smiling as you enter. You see the beautiful red-skinned Ruby of the Sea. Her dark hair now tied up behind and resting down the back of her robe with like a single curl that kind of runs in front of the face on the right side, kind of faintly white, almost yellow gold eyes, the horns that kind of curl backwards and then shift off to the sides abruptly before curving back a little bit. It's this kind of beautiful curl that accentuates the way her hair falls behind. It gives this kind of almost a wreath and a crowned look to her, this almost regal presentation, even when she's just wearing comfortable robes. But attention is grabbed by the central figure, a female elf with light brown skin, with kind of red wild hair that falls and like clustered strings around her face and down the back. You see that she's wearing a long sleeveless gray coat with a high collar that just kind of just bends at the edge of the shoulders, with a thick scarf that's around her neck. You see she has heavy elbow-length gloves and knee-high boots that look weathered with use and probable brutality. They're stained in places where that could only have been acquired by meeting the face of somebody else. As you step up, she has her arms kind of crossed in front of her, cocks her head to the side, and looks towards you specifically and goes, "Well, hello, Captain. So, you have returned from your journey, your grasp, huh?" Avantika's standing on the balcony, and you can see there's this like column of water that's rising up out of the ocean, and she's nude, and it's just washing her. Like she's kind of in the process. She's in the throes of kind of manipulating this water. She's just learning whatever this new gifted power that she has, and is just, her hair is twirling up into the stream, and it's this beautiful almost dance between her and this elemental force that she now has. And she kind of looks back over her shoulder at you, knowing that you've been there for at least a couple minutes. "I'll be just a moment."
Don't rush on my account.
Eventually the water splashes down and off the side. She walks back out of the night air and pulls her hair up and kind of ties it off.
I've seen this film.
Takes the little silk robe and places it over and sits down. Many different ways. So,
Fade to tentacles.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm going for it. I will. Oh god. Okay. Yep. I will keep Avantika's hand and walk around the desk. And I will try the old lean in and see what the reaction is.
Man, all right.
Oh man, I'm getting some twitch wood right here.
Quickly, her hand grabs the back of your head and pulls you in.
Oh, shit.
I'm very mixed about this whole thing.
Yeah.
She's a very powerful woman, and you find yourself very quickly overpowered. And you are allowed to...
However, the beaded curtain swishes open with a grandiose gesture of one slightly meaty hand, and stepping out in his fine gold-trimmed purple robes, his longish, thick, black, coarse hair pulled into a nice ponytail, smoothly shaved face with a slight little hint of a braided goatee that dangles about 3 inches from his chin.
Well, you remind me, sorry, DM, because it's been a while. Gilmore's a good-looking man, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's handsome.
Yeah.
Is the braid new? Is that a new addition?
So handsome,
Oh,
Max.
the braid's new. He decided to rock the braid.
He's
Go for it.
Gilmore's a very handsome gentleman. He's
you guys now.
I would say he's not like fit and muscular.
Right,
He is a handsome, comfortably jovial gentleman.
I'm picturing Jeremy Irons in a Wizard's Robe.
Kind of. Imagine him with a little more punch.
Okay.
But very charismatic. and open chest to his vest with a number of gold chains and medallions that kind of dangle around. What you see before you is a slender elven male, draped in long white robes that drag a few feet behind his form across the ground. He has stark white hair that is slicked back against his head, no facial hair, frail but very handsome features. Elves, when they age very gracefully. And from the look of this, and most elves you've seen, this is a very old elf that has aged very gracefully.
You watch as the Bright Queen nods towards you and glances over towards one of the nearby male drow figures sitting to the right of the dais. You can see very handsome, kind of head held high, looking down upon this with just a curious glance. A similar mantle to what you noticed Lythir wearing, but much more elaborate. And you can see the robes that he's wearing that pretty much can entirely obscure the body. They just fall, they go entirely around the mantle and close in the front, so it's just this beautiful, draped, deep purple and black robe that completely obfuscates the body.